and I'm gonna talk a little bit about what we've done so far, and then I'm gonna pass it on to Mihai.
Yeah, go on.
This is so cringe.
It's such a fail.
You can put the pillow to your back if you want. It's just...
It's gonna take like 20 takes.
Hello and welcome to Morning Log's first ever devlog.
We're Morning Log.
Alright, so
That's to us laughing.
what have we been doing so far here at Morning Log? Well, we had a quick 2-week pre-production phase, which we've heard isn't very common for indies, but it's something that not only school pushed us, but we ourselves understood that is really important. Because all the discussions regarding game mechanics, game art, or just the feel of the game, we wanted to get rid of that as early as possible, so that then in development everybody is on the same page. We're all going towards the same goal, so it really misses out on a lot of confusion during the development phase, and we made a lot of cool stuff during that pre-production, but it's also mostly boring document stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, after the pre-production phase, we got to development straight up. We started working on Unreal Engine. We started making our game art. We started finalizing some stuff. And yeah, everything has been going good. So this devlog is supposed to show you the progress that we've made. But let's talk a little bit about what our game is about.
Yeah.
You think we should? You think we should?
Alright, so our game is a inspiration from Darksiders 2 mostly, in my head at least as a game designer. An open world, more or less hack and slash adventure game, but based around dwarves, and we're really trying to keep it as casual as possible. You get what you paid for. It's just dwarves. It's just that hack and slash action with a bit of puzzles, and that's it for a few hours.
What's the main idea behind the story of the game?
So we're playing with like the idea of greed and being punished for it. It's gonna be this big cataclysmic event that happened. At some point, you don't know why, but you come to learn of as you play that it was more of a punishment from Mother Nature herself towards the clans of dwarves that were so greedy and were destroying the land and so on and so on. Think of it as the biblical flood of and so
we're gonna have mounts in the game, and those mounts are gonna be your companions, and they're gonna be a very important part, both narratively and gameplay wise. Besides that, we've made some story in the environment that we're gonna show you in a bit, but let's talk a little bit about our main character, Landan Varys. This is the playable character that you, the player, will be playing as. Axel, tell us a little bit about the process of creating Landan.
Well, the process that went into creating him was like a lot of different things, honestly speaking. Like I think I have about 5 or 6 different gray boxing tabs or projects where I would change anything from his hands, his fingers, his arms. I mean, you were there present when we were trying to just fix his bicep alone. So there was a lot of shit that went into it, but once I got my initial shape that I wanted, I then quite quickly started booleaning it together, making it as one mesh, as one, merging vertices and creating the topology to be correct so it doesn't break the character when we try to animate it in any regard. But then most of the time was spent sculpting. And luckily sculpting, I mean, it's hard, it's difficult to get all the shapes and the muscles and all that correct, but I think I got it quite well. There was one thing that we especially went through quite a lot, which was finding a rig or finding how we're gonna do animations.
Yeah, those are...
Yeah, I just hear the size and that's enough to know, like, I think we tried every different add-on, every plugin, every anything to get Unreal's animations that they have now, and the Mani, is it the Mani you're using?
It's the Quinn, but they're using the same
thing. It's the Quinn bone structure that they have. We were trying to get Unreal to sense that through the Blender bones, and after so many tries, we just kind of gave up because that was just not working.
I don't even want to talk about the amount of hours that Garen spent just trying to figure out animation in Unreal.
That was the worst. So
because neither of us really have any experience with animation, so try to figure out from
nor really
ground
like rigging or weight painting. It's kind of all in the blue right
from
now.
ground zero. We're just
For
building
sure.
from nothing. But hey, that's how you build hard skills, right?
True.
Yep. Well, Miximo Converter is your friend.
Yeah, Garen had to do quite a lot of retargeting with the bones for it to understand that the dwarf is shorter than Quinn. Yeah, I mean, and here I think you can show the long leg character, the Peter Griffin character.
Garen's progress within engine. What have we created so far in the engine, and what were some struggles that you went through?
Oof.
What haven't we gone through?
In engine we've gone through,
Well, actually, the first few strides were not that hard. There weren't that many issues getting the movement going and maybe getting the mount going. That didn't take as long as I expected. I got it up and running pretty quickly. But after that, getting the AIs and the attacking, it was so many times I had to go back and forth. Like, I build up at a certain point, it works. I build a little bit further, everything breaks. I'm way back. So I have to keep building. I have to keep changing stuff, and it was so much back and forth. And luckily now it is at a point where I can say, okay, this is basically our checkpoint, so nothing can break after this. I don't know what I'm doing. But from this, I'm still a little bit curious on what's to come on the attacking and on getting the boss fights to run, and maybe getting some better mounts, getting more actual interaction with the mount as well. But up until now, I had some struggles, but it's just me working, making sure everything is in, making sure everything works. Getting a little bit of playability on what we can do. So now, like, we haven't really discussed, are we going with a big two-handed axe, or are we going with like a one-handed axe? After we made a decision, I still needed to make some changes for that to work properly. Little stuff like, are we spawning with the weapon, are we getting the weapon from a bench or whatever, just these little small things that they work, we just need to figure out so I can hard code them in and make sure that is optimized and done.
I think the next step is probably going to be working on the scenes for the vertical slice and working on the mount, right?
Yep.
It's our next step.
I think getting that polishing stage and get everything, the scenes that we want set up with the props we want. I'm like full-time now working on the mount. No, but I'm working on the mount. I'm trying to get a level of detail that we want through sculpting. Hopefully get some feedback from you guys when I have more of a completed image. And then don't get me started on the texturing, because that shit makes me want to blow my brain out. And as well as currently now with the mesh I have, I looked quickly at the UV. I just went to see what the Blender had automatically signed the UV. It looks like a spider web. Like, don't get me started on that. I don't want to deal with that. But
the UVs are something.
Yeah, honestly, if I could pay someone to do UVs alone, I would. But yeah, that's my task for now. I'm gonna be working on the mount. I'm gonna try to get that up and running as fast as I can.
We have one more big thing to do, and that is because we know we have one version of the trees.
Oh yeah, okay.
We need the last version, which
trees.
So the whole
needs to be
first
done
problem we had with the trees are now we're gonna go through it again.
I think
again.
Yeah, that was one of our major problems. What was supposed to take one of us a couple of days took all of us a week plus just to figure out. Well, we managed to make good trees in the beginning, but they weren't optimized. They had way too many vertices, they were way too heavy, so it took a while to figure out how to make them properly to the point where they're optimized and you don't have to use LODs 2 meters away from the player character.
Why is there a Minecraft tree 2 meters away from me? What's going on here?
yeah, but hey, we finally made. I'm really happy with the trees that we have right now. They look really,
just
really
not
nice.
the style that we want to go for, but
Yeah,
they are good.
Hey,
They're
work,
good trees,
they're simple, they're optimized, so they're good.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
really nice.
what I liked a lot about it is it's such a different contrast to what I initially had put in the art Bible. The art Bible version I had was a bit more moody, a bit more green,
Yeah.
a bit like more mysterious, but this is very warm, very inviting. So I think it's very nice that we have two very contrasting different scenes that we could go back to and play with, because this could then, we could ask you guys, we could ask people around us,
Yeah.
like which one would you prefer, like in the color palette, because this is stuff that I guess is decided by us, but at the same time the vibe can be portrayed elsewhere.
whatever
Yeah.
people like, that's what we'll tend to go towards, as long as it doesn't stray too far from the image that we have for the game.
For sure.
As long as it's within reasonable terms. But yeah, regarding feedback and stuff, we're gonna have these devlogs set up. We're gonna have a newsletter on our website, morninglog.com, set up, where we'll be posting updates. We also have our social media. So we'll keep you guys updated on any major updates, any new models that we finished, polished, or new mechanics or anything like that. And your feedback is more than appreciated. It'll help us a lot. How about we move to the engine and we show people what we have so far in the engine in Unreal.
Okay.
Sure.
And you can see London Virus in action. All right, so let's check a little bit at what we have in the engine. So here you can see our main character, London Virus, the finished and texturized model. Right now, all the stuff that we have set up is set up with the double-handed axe. But chances are, small chances, that we'll switch to a one-handed axe for the purpose of making better animations more easily than a two-handed sword. So we're very happy with how our character looks. That's one of the mounts that we've been working with. It's a placeholder. It's an asset that we got from, do we know the name of the guy?
It's horse animation set. That's it.
It's a horse animation set. We've been using it just to test some stuff out. Essentially, our main mount is going to be a ram that we're going to make ourselves, and then adjust the animations for that as well. It just helps us develop. And as you can see, our character is not really built to ride a horse that well.
I mean, yeah, the reason for it is, as we were saying, we were struggling a lot with animations. We managed to rig it now with the Unreal animations, and the reason we did this is we will be making our own animations in the future. But for the time being, we felt like if we could use the animation that were already in there, since Garen already had spent quite a lot of time working on the animations to get them in look smooth, as well as with the timing of swings and stuff. We decided it would be best for us to be able to use those also as placeholders currently, so we could move the process along and get going on the stuff that we feel was more necessary.
Yeah, and as we can see, the way that the mount works is going to be very similar to how the RAM is going to work after we implement it. And this is one of the main areas in the starting area, the campsite. So this is going to be a point of interest later on in the game. And then that tree across the ravine is going to be one of the many traversal ways of getting across the ravine. Because the way that we're building the map right now is that this ravine is going to be a big part of it. So a lot of the part is just you going to be traversing through it and finding ways to get from point A to point B across the map. And yeah, you can see the infamous trees in there that we think look good. We're just going to replace them with some trees that are more of a feeling of what we want. We have our own textures that are being used for the ground. Grass blades are our own textures as well. So that's something that, unless at some point we decide to polish, is probably going to stick for a while there, and we're really happy with what it's looking like at some point in the game. So right now we have the light combo rotation, and we also have a dash attack. So the game is going to basically just be around this hack and slash mechanic, and we're just going to work on fine-tuning it as much as we can so that it feels right and it feels good to play around with it.
Yeah. We didn't feel like in the process that we were going through now that the refining of the animations was the #1 priority, because we have the animations, they're a bit wonky, however they do work and they do give you the overall feel of what you want. The reason we haven't also fully refined is because we were considering making our own animations as well with motion capture, which we have been talking with Inditopia. I don't know if we can mention their name, but we've been in talks with them to work with them and see if motion capture is a thing. If we can do that, that would obviously be very cool and would allow us to make our own stylized sort of animation looks.
Yeah.
But that's to come for the future.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's what we have. Just stay updated with what we have going on. Keep track of the devlogs of our newsletter, and we'll show you guys more as soon as we have it.
Yeah. Enjoy.
This was Morning Log. I hope you already finished your coffee. Go pour yourself another one. Your magical bean juice.
Off to make my own.
Otherwise, it's good.
Boom.
Ready to end. Whoa.